Hi. Okay. I know that is this major problem around in the world right now. Everybody is watching the news and they are getting scared, especially what's happening down in America and Iran and Iraq, right? So after the assassination of that Soleimani, right? Now both sides. I just heard that there is another. I mean, I don't know whether if you guys know, but there was a passenger airline which is from Ukraine, a passenger airline from Ukraine that was flying across in Iran, and the Iranian military shot a missile and blew up the passenger plane. So there's about 120 people died. So now everybody is like very angry at Iran because of shooting it for the military to shoot down this passenger airliner. The thing is, um, the Iranian military is saying, I mean, media is going around and telling that, oh, it was a mistake. The Iranian security forces or the Iranian military has made a mistake shooting down the plane. Now, here's the funny thing about this. Why do you think Trump went ahead to go ahead with the plan of assassinating Soleimani in the first place? If you look at him, this guy, this dude, actually helped fight ISIS and ISIL. He helped, believe it or not, his Quds army, they are not terrorist organization. I think practically any other country other than America knows this for a fact. Every other country, people from other countries already know this for a fact. That guy was helping the CIA in destroying ISIL and ISIS. So all of a suddenly he becomes a bad guy, and then to the point where they murder him. So what is the why? Why kill this guy? Okay, here's what's happening. It's misinformation. Is getting it's how to say, it's an old tactic used by previous presidents of America to escape a certain kind of scandal, internal scandal. So what they do is they come up with a problem, problem overseas. So media, correspondents, everybody in the whole planet Earth start focusing on that and not focusing on what's internally happening within America. No, time for the whole world to actually close their eyes for a while. And Iran, I know you are, all the people in Iran, Iraq, I know you're angry, but here's the way you can actually stop. You want to take revenge. Instead of killing, an eye for an eye makes the world blind. So instead of going killing everybody, here's one way you can stop what's happening in US. Go to the UN, ask the UN, as well as you will have the backup of everybody in the whole world, to put pressure, maximum pressure on the US government to impeach Donald Trump, because that's exactly what's happening down there. The Democratic Party in America is trying to impeach Donald Trump, and he is doing whatever he can to somehow get away from it by creating another big issue. So everybody start focusing on this rather than himself. It is a wag the dog technique. It's been done many times by all the previous administrators. As you can see, Nixon had the Watergate scandal, right? So all the different presidents in America have used a certain international crisis so that people do not monitor the problem, internal problems that is happening in America with him. So it's a way of trying to, it's like a disinformation, where it changes the focus and perception of the world's media, and their eyes will be monitored on the bigger international issue rather than the more important internal issue that's happening in America. So I want everybody to just forget whatever the hell has happened in Iran, Iraq, forget it. Instead, move in, close in, put in the spotlight in Trump, get him impeached. Get him impeached, and we'll have a very good you have a very good administrator to be replaced. in America. If you look at Iraq, you want to see the list of enemies for Iran in Iraq. The only one, number one country, or the only one country that Iran and Iraq have problems with is the United States of America. Now, if you look at United States of America, you want to know how much their list of enemy countries? Practically 80% to 70% of every country in the whole world has a beef with United States of America. So, who's a greater enemy here? You think Iran Iraq is really that bad of a country? You think Iran Iraq is really that bad, a huge major threat to the whole planet Earth? No. America has been, always will be, the greatest threat to planet Earth. They are the first country to release and use atomic bombs, killing millions. Until today, nobody in America has paid the price for that, or has faced jail time, or has received sanctions. Imagine if there's another country who actually did this. Imagine the kind of problem, imagine the kind of punishment this country will get by releasing atomic bomb onto civilians. I know it's ancient past history, World War II time, but you think killing millions of lives can be forgotten just like that? I don't know. Every time I read the history books, I'm aghast. I'm just like, holy shit, America did that? Really? No other country in the whole planet Earth has ever used atomic weaponry or nuclear weaponry on freaking civilians. US is the only one country who has done it. Where's the punishment? Where's the sanctions? Where's the embargoes? Nothing. Zilch. They're just living their life like nothing happened. So, this is a wake-up call for the whole world, every single country in the world, all the governments to please unite. And it's time for America to start paying the price. And they better start governing their country correctly instead of start looking overseas and trying to solve the problems of other countries. It's high time they look internally and solve all the major problems they have in their own country. Number one, with their poverty. They have homelessness problem. They have a climate change problem. They have their currency problem. They have their joblessness problem. Their home property is going skyrocketing high. Meanwhile, people cannot afford to buy proper houses. There's so many internal problems in America. It is time for the government to start looking at that rather than keep on spending on military and arms and weaponry. That, the way I look at it, is America is thriving upon war. The only way they can bump up their economy is by selling and dealing with weapons. That's why they are warmongers. Everywhere they go, they will start war. Everywhere they go, they will create Islamophobia, they will create terrorist organizations, and then they will bomb here, bomb there, and then you will create the need for them to send their troops. Please, this is not Star Wars. If you look at Star Wars, the same thing. Palpatine creates a problem, he releases a clone army, the clone army goes in and does all kinds of nonsense, killing the good guys in the process. It's basically the same thing. If you look at Star Wars, the episode 1 to 3, you'll see it's very, very similar to what US has been doing, the government. Okay? To have with the sci-finess, to have with the spaceship and all the lightsabers. I'm not talking about all that. I'm talking about the political dynamism in Star Wars is basically reflecting what's happening in US internal politics. And it's time that the whole world recognizes this and stop trying to be eluded and lied to. Thank you.